Hello, and welcome back to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. Today I'm going to be making wraps or a matchbook style cover for the individually wrapped Lifesavers. I made some last weekend for a celebration of life and they really liked them, and so I thought this would be a good tutorial to do because it's quick and these are very easy to assemble. So I have a party coming up and I thought this might be a good idea to use it for this party. It's a milestone party for someone that's turning 60, and the theme is a combination of the Crooners Rat Pack with Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and Dean Martin, and also Italian with hints of Mafia. So all of the decorations and the photo booth and everything that I'm going to be making for this party will be in that theme. And so from time to time I'll be making tutorials about some of the items that I'm making for the party. And I'm going to start with this one. It's quick and easy, and all you have to do is I found this flag on the internet because I wanted to be I think this would look good on the cover of the Lifesaver wrap, and I didn't want it to just be flat rectangles. I wanted it to have some texture, so I actually was able to Google this flag with the waves in it, and I'm going to now use this to make my covers for the Lifesavers. Now I'll show you the ones that I made last weekend so you have an idea of what exactly I'm talking about. These were made with just I had found a blue abstract background, and because his favorite color was blue, and so the family had asked that it be in this color scheme. And then instead of making it where the lid tucks in, because for some reason whenever I was gluing I didn't want to staple because it didn't look neat to me, so I glued the candies in, but it didn't close right. So instead of closing it by slipping it into this little lip on the bottom portion of the wrap, I just brought it all the way down, put a little dab of glue here, and glued this flap right here, and then used a fake closure. I made these. They look like actual coins, but these are just made using the gradient feature in paint and color effects. So let me show you how to do that now. And here was the finished product and how they looked, and they turned out really well. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. Let's get started. So first of all, since it's a small shape that you'll be working with, I decided to use 4x6 photo paper. So I'm going to go into File, New, and I already have it set on 4x6 because I had already started making one and had to restart because an ambulance came through. So hopefully that won't happen again. But here, so now someone's blowing. So here is the 4x6 photo, the size of the photo paper, and you want it in portrait orientation because we're going to fold from top to bottom to make our wrap for the Lifesavers. So I'm going to go ahead and click done, and then I'm going to bring my flag up by left clicking and just dragging it and dropping it right on this strip or the 4x6 photo sheet. And I'm going to bring the sides in because I want it to have equal portions of all of the colors. And as you can see, I have this little label down here, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to stretch it up. I always say never stretch by the sides or the top or the bottom because you take it out of proportion, but with this, things like this, you can see it doesn't really affect it. It actually looks really nice. So now I have the shape of my cover, but I cut a portion or a quarter of the sheet off in order to make it just a little bit larger than 2 Lifesavers. So I'm going to just eyeball this, which I eyeball a lot. It's not that I don't know how to measure things. I'm a pro at measuring things. My father made sure of that. Um, he was a contractor, but as you can see, I just moved it over enough where I have 4 strips that are just about equal. So this is these are 3 inches since the full width is 4 inches by 6 inches. This is the equivalent of 3 inches. So if you want to measure exactly, that's what it would be. But it's pretty easy to see that this is just divided into 4 equal sections, and we're using up 3 of those 4 sections. All right, so or 75% of the photo page. Now, this is done. I do cut off a little extra at the bottom of this sheet, but I just eyeball it with once I get the Lifesavers next to it, then I can decide how much of a fold I want on this end and how much I might need to trim off. So now we have this portion done, so I'm going to concentrate on making the coin or the silver, I guess you could call it a medallion, to go on the closure. So now we're going to make our circle or our shiny coin to put as our closure, to make as our closure. So I'm going to open up a brand new sheet. I'm going to go to cutout and picture. I'm going to go to add a colored shape, which you don't see, but it will be the 3rd one in the top row once you click on cutout and pictures. It has what looks like an apple, an orange apple for some reason. So click that and it'll bring up a circle. You're going to hit done. Now you're going to go to paint and color effects, fill with the gradient. You're going to go here, and it's the 4th choice, but it's called Fancy Gradient 4. You're going to click that. Then you're going to go down to 2, which is click a style, scroll all the way down to the bottom, which is just 1 click, and then you're going to choose the one that looks like it's pointing, and it turns it into this gorgeous gradient here. Now I'm going to be cutting these out in Cricut, and whenever I cut things out in Cricut, I always put a shadow around the edge, because otherwise the Cricut, when I pull out the white edges in the Cricut, it will also pull out anything that's close to white, and it just makes it much easier if I just put a slight shadow around it. So I'm just going to go here to Special Effects Shadow, and I'm going to choose Soft. I don't like soft because it looks grainy, so I'm going to change it to drop left, and then I'm just going to move it over where I want it and resize it a little bit so that it will be a little portion of that shadow showing around the entire circle. And as you can see, I'll zoom in so you can see it's around the whole circle. And now you don't have to worry if you're going to cut it out in Cricut. You don't have to worry about it cutting out these really light areas. So now that that's done, I'm going to zoom out a little because I want it to be a little more even around the whole edge. And let's see, that looks pretty good right there. So now I'm going to click done. Next, this is for Mike's 60th birthday, so I'm going to add a text box by going to text, add text. It comes out, it defaults to blue, and I'm going to change it to, I guess I'll change it to, why not red? I can do red. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to bring up the Italian flag just so I can make it the exact same red that's in the Italian flag. So I'm going to left click on the text, then right click. When you left click, it chooses it, and then when you right click, you get a menu, and the top says edit text, and that's what I want to do. So I'm going to click edit text, and then I'm going to come here where it says more color. It changes to this color wheel, and then I'm going to go into this red, and it'll make it the exact same red, and I can click on the darker red or the lighter red. I think I'll click on the darker red because it looked like it showed up a little bit better, and I'm going to click done. Now I'm going to change this text to maybe I'll just do a regular Arial. So I'm going to type A here. It'll take me into the A's, and there's Arial Black. That's a nice chunky font, and I'm going to type in all caps because this is going to be a small 1.5 inch circle when I actually cut it out. Mike's 60th birthday. And I might change this. I might do 3 colors. Yeah, I think I will do that. So I'm just gonna highlight Mike's. I'm gonna highlight 60th birthday, and I'm gonna cut that out and just leave Mike's, and then I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. And the reason why I'm using all caps is because I want to curve these text. And if you use small letters and capital and small lowercase letters, it doesn't always look right when you curve it. So I'm going to go ahead, and once again I'm going to right click on Mike, edit text. I'm going to go down here to apply special effects, bin text, and I'll hit a default one, and I'll see how that lines up with my circle. And as you can see, it's not curving correctly. So now you can go here to the adjustment, and you can either use the slider or you can use the incremental one where you can increase and decrease by 1. And I need to click on up so that it will curve downward. And when you want to curve downward, you'll click on the opposite direction. So I'm going to move this up, and you can see once again it's still not totally even, so I'm going to continue to click on the up arrow until it looks pretty much even all around, and that's looking good. I'm going to size it a bit more. Maybe I'll shrink it down a little bit because I do want to put birthday down here. Alright, so I have Mike's, and looks like I need to adjust that a little more. There we go. And I'm going to curve it a little bit too, so that it will kind of be almost even. Let me curve it a little more. Let's see how I like it. Yeah, because I want it to be kind of symmetrical on both sides, so that's looking much better. And let me just move that back over. It looks like I'm going to have to curve it a little bit more because the M wasn't the same distance. Okay, that looks good. Alright, now I'm going to add text again, and let's see if it saved the words. Good, it saved the words that I deleted. I'm going to once again cut birthday this time and leave 60th. And I'm going to make this larger, and I'm going to stretch it down some. And since it's going to stay straight, I think I'm going to make that a small TH. Take it off of caps locks. TH, there we go. And now I'm going to go back and make another text box, and I'll paste birthday in there. And then I'll bring it down, and this time I'm going to curve this one up. So I'm going to right click, choose edit text, apply special effects, bin text, and then I'm going to choose the default one that's there and see how that works out first. And then if it doesn't work out, then I will change it. I will adjust it. And let's see, I want to make this bigger. I'm probably not going to make it as big as Mike's, the word Mike, the name Mike, but I'm going to make it a little bigger. And now I'm going to click down in order to curve it in the opposite direction so that it curves from the bottom up. And then move it down to see how that looks. And that looks just about right. I think that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to change these to the colors of the flag. I'll make the 60 white, so I'm going to choose it. And actually, I can either go back in to edit text, but the faster way, since I'm just changing the color, is to go to Paint and Color Effects, choose a solid color, and I'm going to make that white. So I can click anywhere in here, or I can click over here at all the way over here where this little ball already went. It went all the way over to the wall, which is where the whitest white is. And I'm going to click done. Then for birthday, I want that to be green, so I'm going to go to Paint and Color Effects, solid color, and let me make sure, Paint and Color Effect, fill with a solid color, and it brings up the color wheel. And then I'm going to click in the green and bring up the green. So that's gonna, I think that's gonna look nice. So now I put an edge or a shadow around each one of these so that they stand out a little more. So I'm going to start with the first one, and I'm going to click Mike's Special Effects Shadow, and for this one I'm just going to pick probably a soft shadow, or maybe I'll choose a drop down, and then I'll put a soft shadow around all three to make them stand out even more. So I'm going to, I clicked drop left, and then I pulled it down a little just so you could see it a little better, see the shadow a little better. So I'm going to do that on each one. I'm going to click on 60th, go to Special Effects and Shadow. I don't know why I'm tongue-tied today, but for some reason I am. And I'm going to move this down and try to make it about the same outline as Mike's. I'm going to go to birthday. Once again, I'm going to go to Special Effects Shadow, choose drop left, and I'm going to drag it out a little bit so that it's the same amount of shadow on it as the other two items here. And now I have my drop shadow on each one of those, and now I want to put an edge shadow around all three of them. So I'm going to click on Mike. I'm going to click on, while I'm holding down Control, click on 60 and click on birthday. You click on Mike first and then hold down the CTRL or Control key. Click on 60 and then birthday. We're going to group those. No, I don't want that to show again. And then I'm going to go back to Special Effects Shadow and Soft. And you see it made an edge around the whole letter, each of the letters. So I'm going to click done. And because when I did that, it made it look a little out of focus, I'm going to go to Special Effects, Blur and Sharpen, and just bring this over just until it looks sharp again. And I actually ended up taking it all the way over to 60. So now that looks very well, but very good. But I want to make it stand out a little bit more. And since I already have the flag here, I'm just going to shrink it down really small. And this is just something I found out just by playing around with the app years and years ago. If I put any type of shape back there, usually I just go to Cutout and Picture and grab a shape and put it there. And now I'm going to, while I have that little shape chosen, I'm going to hit Control and click on the lettering, and I'm going to group that again, and now I'm going to add another soft shadow, and you see it just makes it even bolder. I'll show you the difference. Now if I didn't group those, it would change the previous shadow, but once you group it, it becomes like a new picture, and you can add a new shadow, and you can do that as many times as you want to build that up more and more. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done now, and I think I want to lighten this up a little bit because it's looking a little dark. So I'm going to I went to paint and color effects, and with this time I want to change color. So you're not seeing this menu, but it's the second one, at the first one at the bottom. It looks like a purple starfish, and you're going to click that one so that you can keep these colors the colors that they are, the red, green, and white, but you can brighten it, you can darken it, you can enhance it. If you had just gone back to paint and color effects and chose fill with a color, it would have changed the whole thing to red. And I'll show you. And you don't want that. But if you do that by accident, all you do is hit cancel. And if you had already closed it out and hit done, just hit the back arrow and it'll bring you right back to this. So now we have our cube as well. I'm going to sharpen this a bit too because it's looking a little foggy to me. I want it to look very sharp like the other coins I made. And now that's done. So I'm going to group all of these together. Actually, I think I'm going to lighten it up a little bit more. The wording, I'm going to go to paint and color effects, change color, and lighten it up a bit more because it's going to be small and I need it to really stand out on the label of our Lifesaver wrap. So that looks good. And I'm going to cut this out by going to cut out of picture with the cookie cutter shape, and I'm going to send it to, I'm going to leave the check mark in that says put it in its own cutout. So now it's going to instantly make this into a JPEG for me once it finishes processing here. For some reason it's working slow today. Alright, and now I'm going to go back to the one here that has the two layers, and I'm going to save that just in case for some reason when I print it out I don't like how it looks. I'll be able to easily go back in and change it. So I'm going to say Mike's coin, and I should make a new folder for him because I'm going to be making a lot of items for this birthday party. Go ahead and hit done. So now we have the coin and we have our wrap. Now I need to make a mock-up of this because I'll add it to the sheet where I put everything. And so I'm going to take this coin up and I'm going to switch here and I'm going to cut this out, or a portion of it out, so that I can show her what it's going to look like. His wife is giving it this party for him, and that's going to go to a separate one as well. And I'm going to drag it here with the coin just so to give you an idea of how it's going to look, or give her an idea of how it's going to look once it's done. I'm going to put a shadow around that by going to special effects, shadow, and I'm just going to put a soft shadow around it. And then I'll shrink my coin down. It's going to be about 1.5 inches. So if each of these are 1 inch, 1.5 inches will be about there. If I pull this over, that's about 1.5 inches. I can make it a little bigger. That's more like it. And so that's how, I don't like how this corner is looking, but let me recut that. But that's how it's going to look on his, use a square. That's how it's going to look on Mike's Lifesaver wraps. I'm going to put a new shadow around this. I'm going to leave it on this page and click done, and then I'll get rid of these two things, and I'll put a new shadow around there, and then this will show her the cover. And I do mock-ups for every customer, partially because I just like to. I like seeing what the design is going to look like before I make it, and secondly, because it's a good to give the customer an idea of what they're going to be getting, and hopefully your design will look like the finished products, because that's a problem if it doesn't. Okay, so, and I can also take this one up and just crop that out so she'll see the inside. So I'm just going to crop out this portion so she'll see what it looks like on the inside. Just going to go to trace on my own. Thank goodness these are straight angles, straight sides, so that I can easily cut it out without having to take a long time, because I want to make this video as short as possible. There. And get up there on that corner. There we go. And straight across. So this one, click my green flag, hit done. I see a little blue on there, but that's not a problem. So I'm going to delete this background by right clicking and hitting delete. And now I'm going to bring this up some. I really don't like that blue edge, but I'm just going to show you for now how to make this mock-up right quickly, and then we can go and make it. So I'm just going to pull this bottom out, and I'm going to change that to red, white, and green so that it will show her. I should have done it with the other one, just by tracing on my own. Usually I start with the mock-up and use the mock-up to make my designs. So I would have done all of this, and then I would use these little mock-ups, or like these things, to go ahead and make my actual items. So now I'm going to change this to the flag, and what I need to do is I'm going to have to switch to this, turn it on an angle to match my, yeah, that looks about right. And now I'm going to switch back to my mock-up. I'm going to go to cutout and picture, fill cutout or picture with the picture, and then I'm going to drag that up. And it's not quite it, but it looks pretty good. So now I'll put I know what I can do. I can make this black and white, and then that won't be blue anymore. So I'm going to go to Paint and Effects, Black and White, make black and white, but I left this red, white, and green, and now I have my mock-up to show her what it's going to look like inside. And I'll turn it around a little bit and resize it. I'll bring it down a layer. I'm going to put a slight shadow around this so that it will stand out a little bit, and then I'll have my mock-up completed. And now I have the mock-up to give my customer. To show her one of the items that I'll be making for her party. So now I'm going to go ahead and print out my 4x6 photo sheets in red, white, and green, and I'm going to cut out my coins, open this in Cricut and cut out my coins, and then we'll be ready to assemble. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, now we're ready to assemble, and first of all I'll show you what I used. I used 4x6 glossy Canon photo paper to make the match covers, and then I used just regular Georgia Pacific premium cardstock that I get from Walmart for $5 to make all of the coins. And even though the coins were just printed on matte cardstock, just that it gives it the look of metallic, or a metallic look, even though it's just paper. Now I'm going to use the Creative Station that turns anything into a sticker. I'll set this up, pull this out and pull out my handle, and I'm just going to slide my coins in here. Usually I make a lot at one time if I'm making these, and I just put them all in there side by side. I think I got about 8 in there at a time, and I just push them down until they, let me roll this because this is a new, I wanted to roll it out some because this is a new cartridge I just put in. So now I'm just, yeah, you can barely see in there, and all I do is roll it through. It comes out on the other side just like that. And then I just slice it off, and I'm ready to assemble. So you move that out the way, and all you do is pull this plastic away just like that, and it leaves you with your stickers. So that's how the match cover looks as soon as it comes out of the printer. And I've cut it down to 4.5 inches long by 2.75 inches wide. So now I take the Matchbook cover and my Cricut scorer. I want to score this, and I'm scoring it a little less than a 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to run my scoring tool from Cricut across it a few times until I get a deep score, and then I just fold it just like that. Otherwise it might break your photo paper. It'll crack along the edge, so you want to score it with something. It doesn't have to be this tool, but something that has a blunt, a pointed end that's blunt. So now I'm going to take both my Lifesavers, and I'm going to just put them about in the middle, and then I take my glue gun, I put them about right there, and I take my glue gun and just run a bead of glue right along the bottom of the candy, and this will not only glue the candy in place, but it will also make your matchbook. I got a little glue seeping out. So now that dries pretty quickly, and what I do is I just fold this side down. I don't crease it, I just kind of smash it a little bit so that I know where it's going to end up, and I put a little bead of glue just right here, right in the middle. And now I'm just going to take this down and hold it for a few seconds in place until it attaches. And it doesn't take long. And then I'm going to take one of my coins, one of my paper coins, and I'm just going to line it up right on top just like this. Oops. Some of the stickiness came out. And there you have it. That's how you make your Matchbook Lifesaver cover. So this was a pretty easy project to do. And it comes out looking really nice, I think. And that's your Matchbook cover Lifesaver wrap. Thank you for watching once again. You've been watching Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and hit the bell if you'd like to see my projects the minute I have them uploaded to my YouTube channel. I'll see you next time.